if you describe them as racist and people say, well, I don't feel that way about Black people, then that's the end of the conversation. They can do whatever they want as long as they claim not to feel a certain way.
What term or phrase lately are you the most tired of having to explain or re-educate people on?
I would have to say white supremacy, right? So white supremacy is the institutionalization of racism, right? And I think people have this misconception that it has something to do with hate or racial animus, and it doesn't, right? Like the simple fact that white schools are funded on average per student $2,226 more than majority Black schools it means that attending a white school is functionally better than a white school, a Black school. And that is white supremacy, right? Now, a person who would say, well, I think that Black people are not as smart as white people, that's racist, right? That's not a white supremacist. That's a racist, right? He has this belief in his head that has no basis in fact. White supremacy is the institutionalization of that. So we know that police shoot and kill more Black people, but more white people kill police. So the idea that Black people are somehow more dangerous, which is a studies have shown that white people think Black people are stronger and bigger than white people of the same size, for instance. That's racist, right? But a policy that reflects itself in the disproportionate killing of Black people is white supremacy, right? And you can see this in all functions and areas of life, right? The idea that Black schools are still funded according to the same racial maps that we use to redline areas. That's white supremacy because it is based, and the result of it is it makes white people in white areas and white tradition more valuable and more superior than Blackness. And that's white supremacy. So white supremacy isn't some supercharged form of racism. You know, our schools are white supremacist institutions. The police is a white supremacist institution. And I know that sounds incendiary, but it is actually the correct terminology for that term because, and here's why that's important, if you describe them as racist and people say, well, I don't feel that way about Black people, then that's the end of the conversation. They can do whatever they want as long as they claim not to feel a certain way. And that isn't how the world works, right? The actions and the result of those actions are what is important, not the thing that you feel in your heart, right? So we have to start using the right terminology and the correct terminology for the institutions that disproportionately target, that disproportionately devalue, that disproportionately affect Black people. That's white supremacy, and it's embedded into almost every institution in America. And it's not racist. Black people aren't sentenced to 20% longer sentences than whites who commit the same crime because judges hate Black people. It's because our criminal justice system is tilted toward white supremacy.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.